Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Eliali. In this incarnation, I am here today to talk about Venus retrograde in Aries because there are videos talking about Venus in Pisces. Let's remember that the retrogradation comes from Aries to Pisces, so you can look for those videos in the reproduction list. Venus, it is this feminine polarity, this energy that we all contain, both women and men, is this planet of relationships, the relationship with ourselves, the desire, receptivity, creativity, pleasure, satisfaction, what is sensual, the way that we are attracting and what we feel attracted to. So Venus retrogrades every 18 or 19 months. Therefore, the next year it is not going to do so. The retrogradation is this visual effect from the terrestrial perspective that we see it as going backwards, and it is going to last from March 1st until April 12th. In this first instance, Venus it is going to stay there until March 27th, their returns to Pisces. And before doing that, it is going to make Venus star point, which is the union, in this case, inferior with the Sun. These conjunctions, inferior it is called when it is retrograde, and superior when it is direct, they open and close cycles, and they occur in the following signs: Aries, Gemini, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Leo. Although in 2022 we had Venus star point in Libra, it is not going to be repeated until 2013 because the conjunctions they have a lot of time, to change from sign. Almost they could pass 100 years, almost. So more or less, it could be more. So every time that Venus has this encounter with the Sun, which happens every 9 months, it is creating this wonderful geometry. I think in an old video I left a video, but I don't remember right now. But it is very beautiful, and you can look up for it. That is called the Star of 5 Points, the Rose, or the Flower of Life. So the next conjunction happens on March 22nd in the degree 2 with 39 minutes of Aries. And when Venus is retrograde, as it is this case, she disappears from the sky and reappears days after as a morning star. We can see it, we can visualize it in the sky as a morning star. And when it is direct, this happens as in afternoon. It is the evening star, and we can see it at evening clearly. So in that house of our natal chart, in that house that this star point is happening, it is being opened a cycle of 4 and 8 years. That is when Venus returns to have the encounter with the Sun in Aries. The next time it is going to be direct, and the next time in 8 years it is going to be retrograde as this moment. So there we are eliminating a process in relation to all the topics that I mentioned in the first part of this video linked with Venus. And we could realize that what we believed that brought satisfaction once, it is not doing that anymore, that there are forms and dynamics of creating relationships that we don't want to sustain, and others that we want to generate, that we are valuing different things, or that is necessary to valuing ourselves in a different way. So it is also this creative process that is initiating. And when Venus is retrograde, it has more this force, this initiator force. Ariel Goodman, which is an astrologer that dedicated a lot of time to the Venus star points, she called it the warrior. So there are many symbolisms associated to Venus in ancient cultures. Between the Babylonians, there is this goddess Inanna Ishtar associated to Venus, and as part of the mythology, there is this story, in which she descends to the I don't know the word. I have to look up for it. Sorry, to the sorry. Well, these things are happening. but I really have to know. I am a Gemini, and that's how we work. Underworld, this is the word. Okay. She descends to the underworld to return to life. So this process of Venus retrograde is kind of descending to the underworld to reborn in a new creative way. It is not Pluto, it is not Pluto, but we are also during eclipses time. So the eclipses do have this transformative energy, and this period it is synchronized with the retrogradation of Venus. So the thing is that Venus in Aries, in its qualities, it is this initiator, but also could be impulsive. It is this Venus that could go for the desire, but also have to learn how to not doing and to receive, or to not act without meditating anything because of impatience, perhaps. It is a Venus that can take risks, but it is also important to recognize what kind of risks are truly worth to do it. It is a Venus very independent, but as we know, it is also very important to allow ourselves to be sustained. So this is going to depend, it is going to, the process is going to be shown according to what we have to work on in the house where it is occurring. Because if there are people that have this tendency to the emotional codependency in a way that doesn't allow them to be alone, to make their own decisions, they have the tendency to lose themselves in other people, they don't establish healthy boundaries. This process, it is going to show how important it is to cultivate a healthy independence, the important thing of having their own projects, creative ways and spaces of plenitude that are not depending on other people. And I remind you that we are not talking about only romantic relationships. For example, if this occurs in the house 4, for some people, this is going to move familiar themes from their roots. So it is more like with the relationship with their family. So this could also show, as Venus represents resources and the way that we are generating them, perhaps the will of doing something new, much more related with the purpose of the soul. On the other hand, if there is an excess of independence and a focus on our own desires, this transit is going to move to consider the other, to establish precisely a connection, because this is the function of Venus, both in relationships as in a society, for example. So if there is a difficulty to take initiatives to create from different spaces to motivate oneself to action for what it is impulsing us to move forward, situations are going to push, especially in spaces where we are not connecting with all of these things. And as I said in the video of the energies of the week, it is possible that, it could come these relationship endings, or endings in ways of generating resources or creating something in our experience. We are also going to reevaluate the desires in relation to the house that is occurring and what we truly want, genuinely want from the people that we are right now, because Aries is also a sign very associated to identity. So it could be that experiences of the past or people from the past are returning, whether because we need to close a cycle, because there is something to integrate or let go of. And there could be that, we need to work on something to allow ourselves a greater connection with love, to cultivate the valorization, I don't know if I'm inventing that word, the worthiness of who we are, to choose, and also to value other people, the people that are surrounding us, but to choose from spaces that are representing all of these things with the consciousness that we are acquiring right now in the present moment. So it is also about that. Okay, I just want to leave this video today. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.